Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Thursday, the 1st of May. I am flatcapcallum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. The aim is to be brief. That is what we're aiming. We will see how we get on. So, we've got a Wednesday review. There was quite a bit going on Wednesday, so we'll go through that. And then we've got Thursday bets. Pretty straightforward for Thursday. I've got 7 selections in total. There was quite a lot of nearly hitting the star system. There was quite a bit of marginal, but I've stuck to the 7 that made it over the line. We've got a sort of ambitious each way patent at Punchestown, and then we've got an each way Yankee for the UK based racing. 16.25 is the outlay for Thursday. All right, let's do the review. Let's see if we can work through this because it was one of those. It was very close. I've got it as a break-even day for Wednesday. If you use Sky, probably somewhere in the region of double money potentially. So Royal Dubai couldn't hold on to third. It was fourth. Sky paid out. No one else did. That ended up being fourth, one out of the placings. And then we had non-runner third, but that didn't count because it was an 8-runner race that went down to 7 runners with a non-runner. So no one paid that out, one out of the placings, non-runner. So we started a day of 12 selections. 8 of them actually ran 4 non-runners on a day when there wasn't a lot of non-runners. It was pretty frustrating from that point of view. So in this bet, we had 3 horses that ran for us. And as far as everyone else is concerned other than Sky, 1 out of the placings, 1 out of the placings, 1 out of the placings. It's the way it goes sometimes. And then we got into the forecast bets. And I think just strange payout here. I will get into this. Raining Prophet was a really nice winner. When Moon non-runner, Arecibo not very good. Then we had a non-runner, and we had a third that was therefore out of the placings. So feel free to sort of share in the comments what you got back on or didn't if you were doing this. But what I've tried to do, because I know that different bookies pay it out slightly differently, which is a bit annoying. So I've done what I believe the majority of major bookies do in terms of paying it out. So if we start the simple bit, this one, there will be some bookies that will basically settle the forecast here as a loss, a losing £1. Because there are some bookies that if there's non-runner in the forecast, they basically make the bet a single. And the money went on to Theme Park and it didn't, it was third. Most bookies would have refunded with non-runner, and therefore I've counted for the channel a £1 refund. On the flip side, on this one, bit more complicated, the TriCast went down, so we had a non-runner. I think vast majority of almost all bookies in that situation, horse gone down in the TriCast, that just means you're trebling up on the forecasts on there instead. So if we'd landed the forecast, it would have been like triple money for the forecast. That's where we'd have got to. So that was down. The forecast, what most bookies do, will refund you for the element of what didn't happen. So when Moon was in 4 of the 6 legs, therefore for the channel, I've recorded that as a £1 refund. There'll be some bookies, Betfred do it, whereby you had a winner, and therefore for the forecast there, they'll class that as a winner because this was a non-runner for the forecast point of view. And so therefore, if you were something like a Betfred, I think I worked it out, you get back 217. So channels recorded that as a £1 refund on that and a £1 refund on that, and then there was a little bit of a single on Raining Prophet because it was doubled up with that non-runner. Overall, slight loss. Complicated. Alright, bet free. We started off nice. This is the way, was the way. 9-1 I think SP, 14s was gettable. Then another one, Sky paid out for 4th here, no one else did. Switch from Diesel, 2nd, and then Must Be Obeyed, pulled out at the start, strangely. So the channel got back that as void place win, but if you were Sky, you also got that place on there as well, which would have meant as I said, double money. Channel 25.50 on 24.82 back, a loss of 68 pence on the day, so roundabout break even. So that concluded April. So for April it was a really good month, just what we needed really, because I got us in a bit of a hole in March through Cheltenham, and then the couple of weeks after Cheltenham there wasn't really much going on, and we lost a couple of quid and that was about it. So to come out and have a nice month in April, which is the first full month that I've done videos most days, because January, February was sort of just bits, and we were a few quid ahead going into Cheltenham, and then got in a big hole in Cheltenham, couldn't get out of it in March, and now we've got out of the hole, because we made over 113 profit on the month, which is just over 35% return on investment for the whole of the month of April. Really, really pleasing. Now, next challenge is, can we do anything to consolidate that in May? Can we back it up? Can we have a profitable month? Because if we have a slight losing month, we'll be obviously not in a great shape again. If we can make some level of profit in May, that would be fantastic, because we can then start pushing on a little bit. We'll see where we go. So we're clean slate. We're on to May as it stands for the channel for this year. We are £19 to the good. Huge 2 or 3% ROI. That's where we're at. But considering how bad March was, I'll absolutely take that, to be fair. So that's that. Let's get on to the bet. Right, risky patent. Here we go. So there's quite a lot of sort of almost in there in Punchestown, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with these really big handicaps. I spent a long time on all three, and I've actually come up with two big prices that I think are worth playing. So 2.30 Punchestown, semblance of order. Watch that horse in the betting. If there's movement on that horse in the betting, I would take that as a massive positive. But we'll see, because it's ran terrible last time for not any apparent reason. If you go back, and this is clutching a little bit, but it won its maiden nicely at Punchestown, so it's got a bit of track previous. On balance of form, probably would prefer it softer, but I'm not. It's not a strong lean, as in it's run a lot more times on soft. But yeah, I do think if you go back to that maiden, the horses that are in behind it, that finished in places behind it, a lot of them have gone on to be much, much better handicapped. This horse has not done anything, so it's either just lost its way and that's it, or it's sort of lurking and waiting for something. So let's see. Semblance of order 50s, 4.15 Punchestown, Stoner's Choice. It's quite a tricky one, this race, and I've got myself on the Fergal O'Brien one. And again, it's obviously another big price one, which 25 odd runners. It's gonna have to be for me to play in a race like this. I'm not going to put up a 10 to 1 shot in a 25 runner race. 3 miles is the question mark, but it's run on. It wants decent ground. It's what it should be getting at Punchestown. And yeah, I think just because it's not sort of 3 mile through and through type of horse on paper, it seems to be a lot more bigger artificially in the betting. And on the first few days of Punchestown, on Tuesday, Wednesday, there's been 3 handicap hurdles. British trained horses have won all 3, which is surprising in some regards. So I wasn't deliberately going for a British horse, but it's certainly a little bit of an extra little tick in there. But yeah, I think this is an overlooked horse. If it can stay the distance, that's what we need it to do, and it should be one that's going from the front and trying to hold on, which I think is no bad thing the way that some of the races have run so far this week. And then we're going to go 6.35 Punchestown. My memory says I think we backed it. I think I did put it on the channel for a couple of pence at Cheltenham, and yeah, I think the market's got it a bit wrong on that one. I'd have it single figures, so 16s is worth playing. Bumper horses in, so 50p each way patent, £7 is the bet. In order to get 6 places, because everyone's free here, 6 places on both of these. You need 365, Sky, Paddy, Ladbrokes in Coral, amazingly, and Unibet. Those 6 bookies, you get 6 on both. Next best, Betfair and Boyle Sports, you get 6 there, but 5 there. So the channel's taking the same place terms as one of those 6 bookmakers at the top. If you're quick, I think you can get 66s there with a couple of bookmakers, maybe Betfair and Paddy, something like that. So £7, that's the Punchestown interest. Then the UK bet, this is where we've got to. We'll go through this quick. Right, 425 Yarmouth, Great Blasket 9-1. 445 Southwell, Madam Fenella 28s. 520 Southwell, Run This Way 20s. 625 Ayr, 6 course 16-1. 25p each way Yankee, 50p each way singles on the 3 bigger prices. 75p win single on that one. Channel is taking standard terms on all of these, which is 3, 3, 3 and 2. If you've got Sky, you'll get slightly less good prices, but you would get an extra couple of places on of those 3 races. There's 2 of those where you get an extra place. So it's better for extra places. And everybody else is the same. 9.25 total there, 16.25 total overall. That is my Thursday offering. As for Friday, as I sort of flagged earlier in the week, it's going to be a bit tricky. So I will update you when I know more about whether I'm going to play on Friday or not. If I'm not, it's not necessary. It's not about whether the racing is not great, because actually it's quite an interesting day. Just about my ability to do proper research and to get a video out to you. So yeah, it might be it doesn't happen. It might be it does miraculously happen, or it might be I just do some of it and put out a short video with something on. They're all options. They're all options. All right. Definitely, I'll be playing Saturday. All right. That is me. Thank you very much. I hope your weekend. I hope your week is going good, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.